Your talent is the problem. You know you're capable. You've always known. And somehow, that's the reason you're still exactly where you were. World Cup 2026 is coming. The most interesting question isn't who's the most talented going into it, it's who actually did something with it. Nagi Seishiro had more natural ability than almost anyone in Blue Lock, and he almost wasted all of it. This video is about why and what finally forced him to move. Because the talent wasn't the advantage. First, it had to become the problem. Here's what coasting actually looks like from the inside. It doesn't feel like giving up. It doesn't feel like laziness. It feels completely rational. Because it is. Nagi never felt the pressure to push. Not really, not yet. He showed up with more ability than the people around him, did less than his ceiling allowed, and it worked. So why pay the cost? You already know this feeling. The subject you never studied for because you always figured it out anyway. The job you never pushed for because the one you had was fine. The version of yourself you never reached for because the current one was enough. That's not laziness. That's a rational response to never being forced. You get good results early. The good results tell you you're doing enough, and enough becomes the ceiling. Not because you chose it, but because nothing ever forced you past it. That's the specific trap talent sets when nothing pushes back. Look at where Nagi is in that frame. Not leading, not pressing, watching. That's not disengagement. That's a man whose structure is working exactly as designed. He had Rio. Rio built the structure around Nagi's output. Not because he was weaker, because that's what the partnership required. He covered the gaps, made the system work around what Nagi was willing to give. When something absorbs the consequences of your ceiling, you never feel the ceiling. Think about what's doing that for you right now. The situation, the person, the setup. That's making it possible to stay exactly where you are without feeling the cost of it. That's the structure, and the structure is the trap. The question is, what breaks it? And the answer isn't what most people think. So the structure held. Nagi had the ability, Ryo had the framework. The results kept coming. And from the outside, it looked like everything was working. That was the problem. Here's the counter insight. The talent wasn't protecting Nagi from failure. It was protecting him from the one thing that would have made him dangerous. Pressure. Not the kind you can coast through. The kind that tells you clearly, with no room for interpretation, what you've been doing is not enough. That kind of pressure is the only thing that forces a talented person past their current ceiling. And Nagi had been insulated from it his entire life. Watch what happens in that frame. For the first time in Blue Lock, he doesn't have an answer. The default didn't work. The ability wasn't enough. And the structure that had been carrying him had nothing left to carry. That's the first real moment. Your talent has been doing the same thing. Not failing you, protecting you. Giving you enough early wins to avoid the moment that would actually change you. The subject you could have always passed without trying. The room you could always hold without preparing. The version of hard that never got hard enough to show you what you were actually made of. That's not an advantage. That's a ceiling with comfortable lighting. And here's what makes it a trap specifically for talented people. The more capable you are, the higher the comfortable ceiling sits, which means the longer you can go without ever hitting it, and without ever finding out what's on the other side. Nagi went years without hitting his. Blue Lock found it for him. Most people don't have a Blue Lock. You have something else, something that works the same way, but only if you understand what it's actually doing. There's another player in Blue Lock worth looking at here. Not because he's more talented than Nagi. He's not. Isagi came into Blue Lock differently. Not with Nagi's automatic touch. not with the instinct that made everything look effortless. What Isagi had was something different, and it's the thing most talented people never develop, because they never have to. He knew he could be replaced, not as fear, as a fact he'd already accepted and built around. From day one, Isagi operated like the person next to him was going to take his place if he stopped moving. Because in Blue Lock that was true, and unlike Nagi, he had no structure absorbing that reality for him. Watch what he does there. He doesn't wait for the automatic answer. He makes a decision under pressure without a guaranteed answer, because waiting wasn't something he could afford. That's not talent. That's what pressure builds when it's been there from the start. Same system, same stage, same stakes. Different relationship to the threat of being replaced. You've seen this. Someone with less raw ability than you, further along, moving faster, getting further, and you couldn't explain it. Not luck, not connections. It was this. They never had the option of coasting. The pressure was there from the start, and it built something in them that talent alone never could. That's the variable, not how much you have, whether you've ever been in a situation that forced you to find out what it's worth. Nagi had more talent. Isagi had more pressure. In Blue Lock, pressure won. Talent matters, but talent without pressure is just a ceiling nobody's pushed you into yet. So what does Nagi actually have at the end of this? Here's what Nagi actually has at the end of this. What finally moved him was simple. The moment he felt replaceable for the first time. Specifically, concretely, someone was going to take his place if he didn't move right now. No structure left to absorb it. And for the first time, he moved. Watch what changes in that frame. His effort changed. For the first time, intentional, not automatic. The pressure found him, and he moved. You don't need a Blue Lock. You need the equivalent. A situation where coasting has visible, immediate cost. Where the structure that's been absorbing your ceiling is gone. Where someone or something makes it clear that staying where you are has a price you can actually feel. You can find that situation, or you can build it. You already know what that looks like for you. The commitment that removes your exit option. The public declaration that makes staying comfortable embarrassing. The situation you've been avoiding because part of you knows if you walked into it, you couldn't coast anymore. That's your Blue Lock. World Cup 2026. The players on that stage didn't get there because they were the most talented. They got there because somewhere along the way, the pressure found them, or they went looking for it. That's what Nagi finally became. When the pressure arrived, that's when everything changed. The talent was never the problem. The absence of pressure was. Nagi needed Blue Lock to find his pressure. You don't have to wait for something to find yours. I built the Starheart Guild on Patreon for exactly that. Monthly challenges, deep dives, the structure that removes your option to coast. Founding enrollment is still open. First members in get their name on every video permanently. Everything's in the description. Talent gets you to the room. Pressure decides what you do when you're in it. Until next time, crew, under the glow of stars, we forge our future together. Captain Geo Bravo signing off. Peace.